Hello, my name is Matt Poskett, and in this screencast I am going to be talking about why I believe that sound design in Left 4 Dead 2 is vital to the experience of the game and helps players to be successful. If you're unfamiliar with Left 4 Dead 2, it's a game in which the goal is to get to the end of each level with at least one member of the team alive. It's a co-op survival shooter, and in a survival game you need to rely on your skills and senses, one of which is a sense of hearing. Left 4 Dead 2's use of audio is fantastic, giving a player more help than they might realise at first. First of all, Karen Collins says mood induction can be used to induce a change in an individual's mood in both a positive or a negative way. In this menu, that impact is in a negative way due to the sombre tones setting the theme of the game. A popular technique in films in which when a certain scene is taking place, the tempo of the music helps the audience experience the pace and intensity of the film. In this next clip, we are going to see how the developers use pace setting.
Reloading! Reloading!
Reloading!
I can hear a jockey.
As you can see, we have two distinct paces in the clip. One which is nice and calm with little sound at all, just the sound of birds and crickets chirping amongst the random gunfire. However, a few seconds later, you hear a creeping sound causing the player to wonder what is coming. Then the next thing you know, the music starts at a fast pace, inducing panic onto the player, whilst they are fighting hordes of zombies. The music matches the pace of the action as it would in a fighting scene in an action movie, or building up to a scary moment in a horror film. In her book, Game Sound, Karen Collins describes audio as playing a significant role in the immersive quality of a game, which is also in this clip because of the lack of sounds at the start immersing the player into an empty, apocalyptic world, before the audio gets more intense, immersing the player into the action that's in front of them. If this sound wasn't there, the player wouldn't get the full experience of the game's story and setting. This next section, I'm going to be talking about how audio assists the player. Starting off with characters. Ernest Adams, in his book Fundamentals of Game Design, says how a character can convey an enormous amount of information using various techniques. One of these techniques is delivery, which refers to the speed or tone of a person's speech.
You might want to heal up. First aid kit here.
Left 4 Dead 2's audio assists the player by using dialogue from in-game characters. They have a lot of dialogue which is really interesting about their background, random stories, or just some humour to lighten the mood. But they also have key dialogue which can assist the player whether they are in single player with AI teammates, or on multiplayer with no microphone to communicate to the other players. The audio can do this job for you, letting other players know where some extra medkits or pills might be, as well as better weapons or an ammo pile, or even when a player is injured or down. And the characters will speak at different tones or speed depending on the information they are giving the player.
Oh yeah, cotton candy, the wise pharaoh of food, sitting atop the food pyramid, passing judgment on all the lesser foods.
Furthermore, the characters know more about the situation than the player at the start of the game, and will use dialogue to tell them where they are heading, or if the special infected are around. The game will also help set the scene with audio. For example, at the start of Mercy Hospital campaign, you can hear this. Letting you know that there is an emergency and you need to evacuate. You see this helicopter again midway through this level, and once you hear it, you can find it above the street and it starts to fly in the direction you need to go, once again helping the player. Special Infected. Next is another set of sounds that can massively impact the player's decisions whilst fighting their way through the apocalypse, and these sounds are of the Special Infected. If you hear one of these sounds, The team wants to spread out a little bit more and try to be in an area with long lines of sight to make sure the special affected is less effective against the team. However, if you hear one of these sounds, the team needs to be closer together to help set free a captured player. Or when you hear this sound, the player knows to avoid the area and switch their flashlight off. A player paying attention to these small but significant details will be more successful throughout the game. Use of sound comparison. A great example of this is sound created when a witch is nearby. If the player hears this sound, they can prepare for it by avoiding the area or switching their flashlight off if they have no choice but to go near the witch. If this audio cue wasn't there, it would massively hinder the player's experience, as when playing an expert, the witch is a one-hit KO. The audio cue is even more vital to the player due to Left 4 Dead 2's AI director, making each playthrough slightly different and less predictable, keeping the player on their toes. Here is a comparison of what happens when a player reacts, and doesn't react to the audio cue, or if it wasn't there.
To find you some first aid.
As you can see, the outcome is drastically different. So to summarise, Left 4 Dead 2's audio is a fantastic immersion tool and aid to a player that is paying attention, and can be the difference between surviving the apocalypse or becoming another victim of it. Thank you for listening.